Shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim out there that push this word in truth and in sincerity. So, this is Brother Yeramia coming again with a on-screen lesson, and it's based on an article that I had seen. Now, the scriptures speak of this anyway, and we knew about this before it was published by one of the university institutions over there in America. But yeah, I came across the article, and I said to myself, "Oh, look, this is in the scriptures anyway, and the scriptures validate themselves and corroborate with each other." So it's going to be a quick lesson. So anyways, let's just get into it. So this is the article. Yeah, well, there are loads of articles on it. And also, Salakia, I forgot to give double honors to the apostles. So yeah, double honor to the apostles and the others of a Great Millstone. This is the article. It's basically dealing with women and the women retaining DNA from every man who they have laid with, which is to have sex or to have intercourse with. Alright, and there's many articles on it, but I've just found this particular one, that gets to the point really. So yeah, I'm just going to use this one and then back it up with a few scriptures. Anyway, the title says, "Women retain and carry living DNA from every man with whom they have made love with," just to have sex. Okay, it says here, women retain and carry living DNA from every man with whom they have sexual intercourse, according to a new study by the University of Seattle and the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center. It says the study, which discovered the starting information by accident, was originally trying to determine if women who have been pregnant with a son might be more predisposed to certain neurological diseases that occur more frequently in males. But as the scientists picked apart the female brain, the study began to vary widely, of course. As it turns out, the female brain is even more mysterious than we previously thought. Now that's true, but so is the male brain, so is brains of animals, all brains of living things, okay? The scientists don't even know how our brain works fully, you know? Stuff like this. So of course, it's gonna prove to be more mysterious, as they've said. Moving on, it says the study found that female brains often harbor male microhemorrhisms, or in other words, the presence of male DNA that originated from another individual and are genetically distinct from the cells that make up the rest of the woman. So they found that in the brain of women, they've found male DNA. According to the study, 63% of females 37 to 59 tested harbored male microisms in the brain. Male microisms were present in multiple brain regions. So 63% of women carry male DNA that live in their brain. Obviously, the researchers wanted to know where the male DNA had come from. Okay. Now we're gonna skip a few paragraphs because it's just kind of repeating the fact that the male DNA is found in the woman's brain. We've already covered that. Now it says, what are they so afraid of? Subheading. And the conclusions. Male microisms were infrequent in women without sons besides known pregnancies. Other possible sources of male microisms include unrecognized spontaneous abortions or vanished male twins, an older brother transferred by the maternal uh, circulation of sexual intercourse. Male microisms were significantly more frequent and levels were higher in women with induced abortion than in women with pregnancy histories. Further studies are needed to determine specific origin of male microisms in women. So, according to scientists, the possible source of male DNA cells living in the women's brains. They say abortion, a male twin that's vanished, uh, older brother transferred maternal circulation, and sexual intercourse. Okay, but the answer which they actually found is the fourth one, because this is abortion 1, male twin 2, older brother transferred by maternal circulation 3, sexual intercourse 4. The answer is 4, the fourth one. This has which is sexual intercourse. The answer is sex. This has very important ramifications for women. Every male you absorb spermatozoa, which is sperm, the full name for sperm. In the Yiddish Hebrew, they call it sav. From becomes a living part of you for life. Yeah, when the scripture says that a man and his wife shall become one flesh, it's because literally, when the man puts his seed inside of a woman, they now share the same DNA. She takes on the DNA of the man, so they are now one flesh. The women autopsied in the studies were elderly. Some had been carrying living, that's the important word, not dead, but living. Some had been carrying the living male DNA inside of them well over 50 years. Okay, because they tell you that when a man ejaculates inside of his woman, some of the sperm is killed because the woman's genitals is set up to be acidic, which is true. But the ones that get past the vaginal canal or canal actually stay alive and go on. Some to produce one to produce a child, and the rest stay in the woman living. Sperm is alive. It is a living cell. It is living cells. When it is injected into you, it swims and swims until it crashes headlong into a wall. Then it touches until burrows into your flesh. So when the scripture says you become one flesh, it's not only speaking spiritually, but it's also speaking in the physical realm. The scriptures don't lie. It says you become one flesh with your wife. Okay, if it's in your mouth, it swims and climbs into your nasal passages, in the air, and behind your eyes. Okay, so when you take a wife and you know her and you humble her, as the scripture says, she sees behind your eyes. So she now sees through your eyes. Okay, her flesh is now her flesh is now your flesh. Okay, her breath is now your breath, as it says, your nasal passages. Alright, her hearing is now your hearing. Okay, you become one flesh, as the scripture says. Then it digs into your bloodstream, and the scriptures tell you that the life is in the blood. So when a man has sex with his wife, okay, she now becomes a living, or she continues to be a living entity with the aid or coexisting with her husband's DNA in her. She is now her husband in flesh. Okay, because they are now one flesh, they're the same. Okay, it collects in your brain. Okay, which is why when you have multiple sexual partners, females do, they get demons on them, because the spermatozoa, or the sperm, resides in the brain. Okay, and now when you go spiritually and deeper into it, that's where your spirit is. Okay, so a woman's brain is meant to be influenced by one man's spirit. Okay, So when you lay with your woman, your vibration, your spirit is over her now. Okay, she's now possessed by your spirit. Okay, and in her spine, which carries electrical impulses. Okay, but the woman's brain is now possessed by it, so her spirit is now she's under your vibration. So if a woman allows a lot of men to sleep with her, all right, all of these, and it's what does it say? The sperms are alive, so the sperms fight inside of her, man, and she has all these different spirits on her because a woman's brain is only meant to incubate one man's spirit. Okay, all right. So that's the article anyway, and now let's get some scriptures on it. Okay, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 22. And it says, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. Why is that? Because if a woman is already married, because marriage is done through sex when she's a virgin. So if you deflower a woman, okay, um, you've now put your seed in her. So you're likely to have a child. You've now put your spirit over her, so she's under your vibration. Okay, so she's as far as DNA and uh taking on spirit, she's now full. That's the only spirit she should have over her, you as the man. Okay, but if now another man goes and puts his seed in her and knows her, not only is he discovering the flesh of his so-called brother, because the woman is now uh the woman's nakedness is now the nakedness of the man because his woman is now his flesh. So not only has he discovered the nakedness of his brother, which is also forbidden in the scriptures, he's committed adultery. He's put his vibration of the woman, and now the woman has a demon on her because there's two spirits fighting to occupy her entity when only one spirit should, which is the spirit of the man who humbled her, who took her virginity, which is her husband. Okay, so that's an evil thing before the Lord. So what has to happen? They both have to die. Okay, but it says if a damsel, now I believe in the Hebrew, one of the words, there's two words for virgin. There's one, ilama. Um, I believe it, that I may be wrong. I have to go and check it up. But if you brothers know, let me know. I believe the word ilama, which is translated as virgin, means um a beautiful young woman, which is loosely and wrongly translated as virgin. Then you have the word bathwala, which means to actually have a virgin who's not been touched by a man, also known as a damsel, as it says, or as it renders, okay, in this version. So if a damsel that is a virgin, so a woman that hasn't been touched by a man, be betrothed unto an husband, and a man find her in a city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out unto the gate of the city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel because she cried not being in the city, and the man because he hath humbled his neighbour's wife, so shall put away from evil from among you. So if you're betrothed, it means you're engaged. And that's what Yahweh Sup and Mariam did in the English, Joseph and Mary. Mary was a spouse to Joseph. That means they weren't yet married, but she was promised unto him. But they laid with each other before the night of the wedding ceremony where they were meant to lay with each other for the first time. And she was found with child. Okay? Now, there's nothing wrong with that, technically, because he just took his wife before the night that was appointed, or the wedding night that was appointed for him to know his wife. But at the end of the day, she was still a virgin and he knew his wife, so the wedding could proceed, so to speak. But if a woman is promised or engaged or betrothed to another man, to one man, sorry, and another man comes along and does his thing, then that's technically adultery as well, because she's already been promised to another person and she didn't keep her promise. and she didn't cry out, as the scripture said. Because if a woman is being raped, now the whole rape doctrine, we're not going to touch that today, but I say this: it's all right for a man to rape his woman, because rape means just to hold and take seeds with force. If that's your style, that's your style, man. All right. But if a woman's being raped by a man, whereby a man takes hold of her unjustly, wickedly, knowing that she's betrothed or even married, and still rapes her and lays with her, then he's committed the evil thing. They both have, because she didn't cry out to say, this is what's happening to me and injustice is happening to me. So they should both be put to death. Okay. And it says here, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin which is not yet, in verse 28, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin which is not yet betrothed, and lay hold on her and lay with her, and they be found, then the man that lay with her shall give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he has humbled her, and he may not put her away all his days. Alright, so that proves that the whole thing of sex is marriage. Alright, so that proves to you that a woman's only meant to know one man. Okay, and the scientific evidence came along thousands of years later saying that the DNA of a man stays in a woman, but the scriptures already told you that a woman should only have one man, because his DNA, his spirit is on that woman now. You know? And Apostle Ricard gave a brilliant analogy years back, saying, why would you want a woman that's not a virgin anyway? You know? It's like a homeless man with a lot of saliva taking a first bite in a sandwich, and his saliva and his mouth juices are all over it. Then you go and take the next bite. It's not fresh anymore. That's exactly what it is. Brilliant analogy by Apostle Ricard. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 15. This is in the law also, to show you the uncleanness of mixing copulation, or the uncleanness of copulation itself. It talks about the woman's menstruation, but then it also, let me find it. There we go. Where is it? Here we go. Alright. This is Leviticus chapter 15, verse 18. The woman also with whom man shall lie, Salakia, with seed of copulation, so his sperm, his ejaculation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until evening. Now, it's not a sin to be unclean, but it's an impurity because you've laid with a woman, or you've had sex and you've copulated with her. Okay. Verse 16, I should have gone up to Salakia. And if any man seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening. And every garment and every skin whereon the seed is of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until evening. So you and your woman are unclean after you lay with each other, man. Especially after well, that happens naturally. Okay. So imagine two seeds now mixing inside of one woman. That's madness, man. That's why the scripture says rightfully they should be put to death, man. Okay. Now, this is Leviticus 21 and 9. Now, the scriptures also tell us that the priesthood started with the tribe of Levi, but it's now open up to the rest of Israel, which is what it was meant to be, because we are a nation of kings and priests unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai. This is Leviticus 21 and 9. And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profaneth her father and shall be burnt with fire. Okay? So, most Israelites, man, daughters playing the whore, man, which is to have more than one sexual partner. And look at the punishment for it, man. Okay? Death. So, the lesson of this, the point in this lesson is, man, in the kingdom, we gonna get our real women back, man. Okay? Because you might have a woman now, alright? hard to find a virgin, you know. But at the end of the day, man, the women are off, man. And hey, I take that back. Women are off and men are off, man. Because guys love the adultery lifestyle. So do women, man. And women like having a lot of sexual partners, man. You know? So we gonna get our real own women in the kingdom, man. And as the scripture says, Salakia, as the scripture says, 7 women shall take hold of one man, man. Okay, and that's in the day of Jacob's trouble, let alone in our rest in our kingdom, man. You know? And Apostle Gabar says, in the kingdom, we're going to understand the real pleasure physically and the real spiritual deepness and meaning behind sex in the kingdom, man. You know? But this is just a few things in the law that Israel loved to break, man. Because Israel's known for the adulterous, multiple sexual partners in women lifestyle, man. You know? So the spirit was on me to just do this. So I got the scriptures up last night, but I was tired, so I just recorded it today. But yeah, this is a quick lesson, man, backed by the scientific evidence of DNA and how it relates to what the scriptures already said. Alright, so with that, I hope it's been a bit of edification. I'll give all praise to the Messiah, how Hashem Yashab, Hashem Akabidash, the bonus to the apostles and the others of Great Millstone. Salutations to the Akim out there that pushed this word in truth and in sincerity is probably around here. With that, I'll say shalom. Kwam Yasharallah.